I don't even know. There's only one way to say it, and that is just to say it. What I wrote down. I don't even know why I wrote it down. Um, Maybe I just lost my mind or something right now, but I don't know. So let me start. So there's a saying, and I don't even know where this came from, but there's a saying that some people say that America is the greatest failed experiment in the history of mankind. Okay, I'll start off with that. Now, I'm gonna jarble this up a little bit, but let's just start with that with what I'm looking at on paper. Okay, so America is governed. It's a government system. To government means from the two Latin root words, gubernare and mentis. Government is mind control, okay? Now, the United States of America started off as a revolution to break away from an empire, the British Empire. Now, the federal government is legally, by definition, a foreign body of government from the United States of America, the original United States of America, that is founded with the Constitution of America, with the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. That was in 1776. Now, that country is that the capital of that country is in Philadelphia. Now, there was a civil war in our history. Not only was there a civil war, there was the Great Indian Wars. So there's two wars going on at the same time. We beat the United States of America militarily, and that's where our treaties came from. At the same time, the Civil War was lost to the South. Well, technically it wasn't, but it was, because the northern states were bankrupt, and they struck a deal with the banks. So, there's two things going on here. The country's still a country. It had two sides. They fought. We won, the Indians won against the Americas. And at the same time, the Americas got bankrupt. The southern states lost, but they were also bankrupt. So they joined the northern ones with a union with the banks. That's when it became a corporation. It was incorporated. The United States the Corporation of America. Now, the states that joined the union, it's a union, okay? The Union of States. They agree to the policies of the government, the Federal Oversight Committee. The federal police, the federal police oversee the federal marshals, because the federal union, the feds have no jurisdiction in the states. They're not allowed to be there. They're not citizens. If you work for the federal government, you're not allowed to be in the states. Okay, so Now, the federal police oversee their oversight for the federal marshals who have jurisdiction into the states by the agreement. That's when they go into the state of the union. But the states, certain states have their own constitution that supersedes the constitution of the American corporation, the Union of the American Corporation. The states, for instance, there's the California Republic. It's a state. Its constitution supersedes the federal constitution. There's no rights over the state constitution. So they use the marshals. The marshals come in to cross state lines with the authority and permission of the state, who, in coordination with the troopers and the sheriffs for local jurisdiction, who now are oversight for the highway patrol and the sheriffs, the highway patrol, which oversee, or they work with the local police department, and then the local police department work with local city and county security guards, regular citizens, or basically snitches. Now let's go back up to the marshals. The marshals interact between the state and the feds. The state, the troopers, and the highway patrol, and the sheriffs, they, in conjunction with the local police for cities and counties, that's their oversight. And the sheriffs are oversight for the rural areas and the not so populated areas of the state, because it's not as populated, so they don't need that many people. But that's why the sheriff has more fake authority over the police, and that's why the highway patrol has more authority over the sheriff, and the troopers have more authority over the highway patrol, which have less authority than the marshals. So if we start at the bottom now that we got that tree, the local police, they are policy enforcers, okay, for the local counties and city. And those are districts of a state. The state is a district of the whole entire union. Now, the police only have this fake authority based off of statutes and ordinances and municipalities of the counties, of the city, of the state, of the federal union. Okay, so they make the statutes and ordinances, municipalities of the counties. The politicians who oversee and are oversight for the counties and the districts, the politicians, they make those locally, and they go up the chain to the state senate, the state legislators and state attorneys, who work with the Senate, the Congress, to make them agree and be in coordinates with the federal laws that the union has stated that the states have to be in compliance with. Compliance is co-manipulation. So municipalities is manipulations. Statutes is a state of mind. Ordinances, okay, so let me just go to the top. So the government, the mind control, tells the politicians the policies that they want enforced. And those politicians the policies that they agree on. They make penal codes to penalize. They make codes to penalize, to penal code, right? To penalize and make a jurisdiction, which means they judge these as penalties that you can be forced, threatened with by the politicians of the city, which then go down and make the manipulations and orders of the state of minds of the locals. And it all goes full circle. Now, and the only way they do this is all of it is coordinated through the media. Federal, every level of it is distributed to the masses, the people, through the media. The television tells you the lies to encompass the whole system. And the whole system is based around drugs. Drugs affect your mind. Now, that's the first leg of it. Okay. Here we go. This is the agenda, the age, the end of America, the American dream. The dream. Americans can't dream. Dream, don't remember. Martin Luther King was killed. He said, I have a dream. I have a memory. He remembered. Okay. Now, the agenda. Alright? This is, first of all, keep this in mind. We live in a state of California, we live in a state, a mind state, which is governed by the government, which is the mind control. The mind control is to keep you in the state of mind through municipalities, through the manipulations, and these states are ordered or ordained by the church, by the false authority. The false authority through the false oversight, to oversee, to be like God, an authority. They have the power. The church gives the false authority as a false God through the federal government, which is the false belief. It's a federal fascist government, fascist mind control. The church is using a fascist mind control system. Now, they do this with drugs. CIA is the top agency of the federal government. The CIA imports the drugs from around the world. The FBI, they're the directors, the logging agent. They keep tabs on all the imported drugs. The federal buying intake or something, I can't really think. They buy it, okay? They purchase it from the other countries. So they're the accountant, or they're the buyer, the purchaser of all these drugs. The FBI hands it off to the ATF. The ATF is a middleman that distributes to the marshals, who have authority to go, who are the armed guards for the federal government and their drugs, to be the middleman to go into the states with their false authority. They hand it off and transport. The troopers in Highway Patrol transport it throughout the states to the sheriffs in the rural areas. The sheriffs have more authority than the chief of police on a city and local area. The sheriffs then give it to the police, the policy enforcers, the chief of police. Now, the chief of police distributes it to the regular local street cop. He's the foot soldier. He's the one who distributes it. Not only does he distribute it locally to the neighborhoods, he is the one who busts you and arrests you and then incarcerates you to keep the whole system in a perpetual circle. It's like this circle of violence. You have a honeymoon state, a abusive state, and then I forgot what it is, but it's the cycle of violence. It's the perpetual circle. And that all goes back to the municipalities and statutes and ordinances made by the city politicians. And the politicians, they do it politely. They lie to you politely to make this shit up. But people are on drugs, so they don't pay attention. I don't know, man. Like I said, I could just lose my mind.